Pretty good, thumbs up. Okay, cool. We'll let folks continue to trickle in, but we're gonna go ahead and get started for the sake of time. So my name is Simone Bullis-Dillahunt. I am proud to serve as a board member for Fertile Ground Food Cooperative since 2019 now, or 2019. So we are really excited to welcome you here today for our 2022 annual member owner meeting. Hopefully you got all the 1,000 notifications that we sent you this year, but we really wanted to make sure you knew about it. We have a lot of really exciting news to share with you guys today. So we're so glad that you could be here. I see a lot of really familiar faces, so this is great. We're gonna start with a cultural presentation and just opening to kind of ground us with what we're gonna be talking about today. So I'm gonna invite up Kwesi Brookins, one of our board members, who is gonna lead exercise, and then we'll kick it over to do a quick icebreaker and then get into our agenda.
Good afternoon. Can everybody hear me? Oh, good.
Yeah.
What we are about to do is libation that comes out of the experience of African peoples throughout the world, born on the motherland. Libation has three components to it. One of them is the water, right, that nurtures us all. The second component is the earth from which we all spring. And the third are the people, and you are the people. The purpose of libation is to give thanks, right? And to honor ourselves and our existence and our purpose for being here. And particularly to give thanks to all of those who made it possible for us to be here and to do what we are doing. If you are able, please stand. If you are able and willing, try to get as close to the earth as you can. And one way to do that is to take off at least one of your shoes. Take off your socks if you can. Stamp into the ground a little bit, to the floor. Not quite the ground, but feel, right? We want to feel ourselves as connected, not just to the earth below us, but close your eyes and pause. Take 2 deep breaths. And feel all of that energy, that good energy we have in the room around you. Your brothers and sisters who are engaged in the same activities. I'm going to take the water and I'm going to pour it into this plant which symbolizes the earth. I will say a few things as we do that, and if you are in agreement, one way we like to acknowledge our agreement is by saying Ashe. Let me hear you say that, Ashe. 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 Make it so. So, first, give thanks to the Creator for our existence. Ashe. We give thanks to the motherland of Africa, from whence we all sprang.
Ashe.
We give thanks to all of the ancestors and all of our elders who made it possible for us to be here at this time and in this place.
Ashe.
As we embark upon the growth of our fertile ground, there are many who set the examples for us to be here. What you will hear today does not just come from those of us who have been involved in the building and the creation of this, but we've learned from all of our elders, all of our ancestors who made a way when there appeared to be no way.
Ashe.
We give thanks to all of those who are involved in the business of nurturing our communities.
Ashe.
And we give thanks to those people in particular whom we individually love and appreciate and want to thank. And I want you to put that name of those people in your mind. 1, 2, 3, or 4 of those people in your mind. And on the count of 3, I want you to speak their name. I want you to speak their name. 1, 2, 3. Ashe, 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 Ashe.
Ashe.
We all came from the motherland. We are an African people, and we will win. Ashe. Thank you.
Ashe.
All right, thank you. Now I'm going to call Erin Martin, who is our new community engagement coordinator. She'll introduce herself later, but she will explain the instructions for our icebreaker.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming out to this event on this rainy day. We appreciate you all so much. So for our icebreaker, we were going to ask, turn to your neighbor, or maybe get up and mingle with somebody that you do not know. And we're just going to ask, what connects you to the Southeast Raleigh District, and what made you decide to become a member? And if you're not a member, you also have an option to sign up to be a member today. So get how much time we got? About 5 minutes, and then we'll come back together and we'll continue on.
So our meeting agenda today, let me actually put this down. So we did our community social. I'm going to talk about the project timeline. We're going to have fellow board member John Dillahunt come up and introduce our architect for the project. You're going to meet the architect, who's not here yet, but will be shortly. Gabriella Lott is also one of our board members who will give an update on the board election, and we're going to have you meet our 2 new staff members as well, and then we're going to get out of here. Does that sound like a plan? All right. So let's get into it. So it's 2022. For some of you, you've probably been rocking with us for a long time, like a decade now. So we're excited to be at this place where we're giving you some really concrete updates on what the next 2 years of our journey looks like. So we're gonna briefly walk through 2022 through 2025. And I know that feels like it might be a long ways away, but it's actually pretty close and soon. So we're gonna go to the next slide. All right, so what's in store? So right now we're in 2022. So this is going to be our program planning phase. So we have just a month left in the year, and we are excited to share that we, of course, selected an architect for our store, and we're gonna get that process kicked off. So that begins with a rezoning application that will be submitted to the city, and we're gonna be conducting an environmental study for our site. So that environmental study will last approximately 6 weeks, give or take. As you know, things change, stuff happens, bad weather. So, take that with a grain of salt. It could be 6 weeks, could be 8 weeks, we don't really know. But this is what we do know today, is 6 weeks. And if you can actually stay back there for 1 second. Oh, no, you can go to the next one. And I'll let you know. So moving forward to 2023. So I know you heard we have an architect. So your next question is probably, so where's the site? Like, where's the store gonna be? That is a great question that we are not gonna tell you just yet, but we will tell you next year. So we're gonna do an environmental study, which will tell us how feasible it is to build on the potential site that we have selected. Once we know everything's good and gravy, we will then launch our site announcement in winter 2023, so January, February of next year. We will bring you guys back for a special event to let you know where the actual store will be. It's gonna be super exciting, and we'll officially kick off the project then. And that is where we'll go through all of the long steps that'll get us the store opening, beginning with schematic design, and we'll also launch a member owner growth campaign. And I'll talk about this a little bit later, but if you've kind of kept up to date, you know that we would like to have 1,000 members before we open our store. We're hovering a little over between 6 and 7, so we want to make sure we get to 1,000 before we officially open. And so we'll share with you today how you can help support that and make sure we get that goal. And Gabriella Lott, our board member who will talk about board elections, graciously put together some grab bags for you guys today that has some handouts and information about how you can spread the word, and just some talking points as well. So be sure to look through those. So again, we'll start with schematic design. And I'm gonna be calling on Jen throughout this presentation to clarify anything. Jennifer Truman here, who is our kind of architect / specialist on the board. So schematic design is the part of the process where we get kind of the basic overview of what the store will look like. So we won't go too deep into where all the different walls and different things will be, but it'll give everybody a general gist of what the store will look like. And so that'll be a really exciting time, and we'll be able to share some general layouts of what the store visually will look like on the external side of it. So fast forwarding to spring 2023, so March, April, and May of next year, that's where we get to move into the really exciting portion, which is design development. And that's where you all will play a really huge role. As you know, we are cooperative, so that means that we want everything that we do to be really engaging with our member owners. So you all will play a significant role in how the store looks, how it's designed, in partnership with our architects. And so we will be hosting a number of community design meeting series that you all will be invited to as our members to share your feedback on what you hope your store will look like, both inside and out. And not just the physical structure, but also what do you hope the feeling will be when you get inside the store? What kind of programming do you feel you would like to see in the store? Those are all of the things that we will be looking to you for your input for, and you'll be able to share with us in the spring of next year. Also included in that will be where we hopefully get rezoning approval, fingers crossed. If you know somebody in the city of Raleigh, want to put in a good word, just do that if you want. And we'll also submit a site plan to the city, which will take approximately, give or take, 11 weeks to process. So next, moving along to the end of 2023, so summer and fall and winter. So beginning with summer, which is June, July, and August, we'll move into construction planning. So we'll have all the fun stuff done. We'll know what the community wants, what the member owners want the store to look like. We'll have a really good idea of what everything will be, including all the walls, the bathrooms, the light fixtures. We'll know all of that, and we'll move into getting construction estimates for the project and approval of those documents. And then fast forwarding to the fall and winter, this will also be a really busy and important phase for Fertile Ground. Is the procurement phase. And so that's where we'll be reviewing permits, getting bids for different contractors, doing negotiations, and also launching a capital campaign, which we'll share more information with you about as we continue to develop throughout the year. And next slide, please. So that takes us to 2024 to 2025, which at that point, the board is going to be really happy because we'll get to rest a little bit, and we'll just kind of see all of the hard work that all of us have done kind of come into fruition. So 2024, as we hope, will just be construction. We'll just stop by and watch it be built, and that is going to be exciting, and we hope to do that. And then in early winter or spring of 2025 is our celebration, in which we are hoping to open our store for public use in that phase. So this is a lot of news, but I'm so excited that you all have a timeline that you can kind of reference. We'll add this information to our website. So as you talk with other people in the community, hopefully encouraging them to become members, you can share where we are in our project development. As we get additional specifics, we'll budget those in to the different brackets and timelines so that you can always be up to date on what's going on. So that is kind of our big gist of what is happening with Fertile Ground. I do want to take maybe 3 minutes or so for people who have burning initial questions, and we can take those now. And I'm going to call Jen up because I might not be able to answer all of them. So does anybody have any questions on what was just discussed briefly here as far as the timeline? You have a question? You have a question? Oh, in the back. Okay. Yes.
We're usually looking at more than one site, trying to figure out what you're trying to do.
So we, in the process of selecting the site that is currently selected, we did review a number of different sites, and this was the one that we thought would be most feasible. So we've kind of done our due diligence there already. Pending, which I don't like to speak things into existence that I don't want to happen, so I'm not going to say that the store's not going to. But in the event that we encounter some issues, we will conduct a review and remediation for that portion. But we have done some review of other sites as part of this process.
Hi, thank you for sharing and downloading all that information. Is it too early, or is it too early to speak to the footprint of what you're looking at just in terms of square footage? Is that too much detail?
No, it's not too early, and I actually forgot the exact number. Is it,
Six to eight.
Yeah, 6,000 to 8,000 square feet, I think is the range in which we're looking to be at. So great question. Thank you for that.
She did actually have a.
You have a question?
She won't tell it to me.
Okay. She wants to know, is her mother gonna build the store? So she won't physically build it herself, but she is going to be instrumental in making sure that it gets built and work really close with the builders and the architects. So yeah, kind of, sort of.
That's why she won't tell me.
Any other questions? Yes.
We're gonna be here in the Southeast Raleigh area.
It is, absolutely, of course, of course. And the question was, will it be here in the Southeast Raleigh area? Other questions? Going once, going twice. So again, this is kind of where we are. This is what is in store, and we will continue to send out updates. And so before you leave today, definitely make sure we have your correct phone number and email address so that you can get all of these great updates that are going to happen in the near future. So I'm going to switch over, I forget what's on the next slide. Oh yes, I'll go through this stuff. So as I mentioned, our goal is to have 1,000 member owners before we start. So right now we're at 600 plus. Next slide, please. And here are the reasons why you as member owners are so important, right? So your membership fees, your $100 lifetime payment, it helps provide a financial cushion, member equity for the store. And then of course, as members, you help represent the groups that we have here in Southeast Raleigh. So one of our primary goals is not to just have the store, but to make sure that the folks who need it the most, the folks who are represented in our community, actually have the ability to shop there. We want it to be inclusive of the community and represent you all very well. And so we need all of you all to help us work towards that goal. Next slide. So yeah, just to reiterate, is getting all of those members a lot of work. Is it a big job? Absolutely, but we definitely can do it. We're over halfway there, and so we're really going to be calling on you guys this year to help us reach that goal. So we're going to need every single person in this room to help us spread the word, to talk to your relatives, your friends, your colleagues, to help us get to this goal that we have. So I'm going to switch over now to introduce our 2 new staff members who are going to assist us in making all of this possible, along with the board and you all. So I'm going to call up Brendan and Aaron to introduce themselves.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Hi, everyone. Like I said, thank you all for coming out on this rainy afternoon. I'm Erin. Martin, there's 2 of us. I'm the Community Engagement Coordinator here at Fertile Grounds, and I'm very excited to be here. I feel like this is coming very full circle for me. I met younger John Moo in Southeast Raleigh High School, and he always told me about this grocery store that his grandparents were trying to get started, and it's just coming full circle for me that now that I'm here talking to you all. So I was born here in Raleigh, but I go back and forth from Goldsboro, Mount Olive area, because we have land there as well. My mom, I have 1 brother, and what brought me to this work? John Moo. That's who brought me to this work. And then it just, like I said, it came full circle with me having the land and then just having this huge issue that is here in Southeast Raleigh. And I think I need to be here. So I think I'm serving a good purpose. If you get a phone call from me, call me back and we'll talk about some stuff if you want to talk about some stuff. I'm going to hand over the mic to Brendan. He's awesome.
Hey, give it up for Eric Martin, right? Yeah, I'm honored to work with Aaron and the folks at Fertile Ground, and glad to be here with y'all. I'm just going to share a couple of the same things. My name is Brendan O'Connor. I moved to the area about a year ago from Alabama, but I grew up in the Blue Mountains of Shenandoah Valley in Virginia, so not too far, and have roots pretty far back in North Carolina. My mom grew up here, and generations before that. So some of those roots, I had grandparents who were marching in the civil rights movement, but I also had ancestors who were kind of on the wrong side of history. So that informs this work for me. And the question of what it means to be a white guy, to be in solidarity with Black lives and with community control of our economies. So that's a little bit about where I'm from. Arendelle, McClellan, some of who brought me to this work. We've known each other for about a decade, met at the Highlander Center. And what also brings me to this work, I felt that if for like every 100 people putting their shoulder to the struggle for like political democracy, there were maybe even 10 putting their shoulder to the struggle for economic democracy, like maybe we get somewhere. Because it's not just about political democracy, right? It's about community control, self-determination, and in ways that start to push back against the general wealth gap that affects everybody and the racial wealth gap that affects people of color and Black folks even more. So that's not right. Let me hear y'all say that's not right. Yeah, we got to do something about it. And I just want to say in a particular way to white folks who are trying to be in solidarity with this work, let's talk with me and Jen. Jen's on the board. It's a particular thing to try to be in solidarity in ways that we don't get in the way, but that we support, that we shake down money where we need to, you know, whatever we can do to figure out what collective liberation looks like. So just a couple things I'm looking forward to for the next year. Some of this, just getting more member owners and folks at the table. Ways Fertile Ground's cultural organizing specifically, though, I'm excited about how it will intersect with what the architect's going to be doing, the built environment, and how that'll connect to the economy too. So that involves some questions we were just talking about at the board retreat this past couple weeks. And these are questions that need to be informed by y'all. So these aren't decided, but these are questions about what might be. So we talked about questions like, what would it be if there was, what would it be like if there was live jazz at Fertile Ground grocery store and the food co-op a couple nights a week or a month? You know, will people be drawn to shop at the store because of affordable events we might hold with, say, local chefs, local farmers, local art, especially folks from Southeast Raleigh? You know, might that draw some people to the store? That's stuff that excites me. And maybe one other thing I'll mention, will the food sold reflect the traditions of the people? As recent as some of the Black vegan movement, surrounding Latinx food traditions, to somewhat farther back like soul food, and even farther back to the African diaspora. Will the food and the spirit of the place reflect these kind of cultural dynamics? So just the last thing I'll say, I was asked to also share what I'm doing in my position. So there's 3 buckets: coordination, store development, and grant research. And in terms of coordination, helping support Fertile Ground be not only about action, but coordinated action. That includes working with Simone and others to put on this retreat a couple of weeks ago. Store development includes working with our amazing architect, who's now I think kind of an open secret who that is, but I won't say the name, so y'all get that. And trying to support him in moving that work forward. And then grant research, because we got to get that money. If y'all know foundations, if you know folks with a little money in their pocket, or maybe a lot, talk to us. Yeah, that's an area now that we've secured the architect and moved some other things forward, I hope to dedicate more and more time to. But it's great to be with y'all, and I'm going to pass it back to Erin.
So I was asked to elaborate on my farmer status. So as I said, we have land in Wayne County, North Carolina, in which that's like the Goldsboro, Mount Olive area. Our farm is a century, we just got our century award, but we're actually 143 years old.
Go girl.
So we that's why when I say it's coming full circle for me, we're trying to, at Fertile Grounds, we're trying to incorporate small businesses. There's only 1% of Black farmers in the world. So when you see a Black farmer, give that person their props. They're doing, even, it doesn't even matter. A small farmer is a small farmer. you can plant a seed, but it's not guaranteed to come up. And this seed is coming up and it's growing, so we just want to keep watering it here at Fertile Grounds as best as we can so we can have a good, healthy grocery store and we can put wonderful produce and wonderful items back into the community as best as we can.
Yes, we are glad you got to meet some of our folks. I, of course, want to take the opportunity to have our board members, hopefully you know about us pretty well, but we always want to take some time to have them introduce themselves. So if you all want to stand where you are or come to the stage to introduce yourselves, starting with our board president. Your name? Come on. I'll make you walk the steps.
Hey, beloved family, it's beautiful to see all of you all. I'm Erin Dale McClellan. I've lived in Southeast Raleigh for 20 years, and I'm looking forward to shopping in our grocery store. And I'm just going to ask other board members to come on up here and say hello. And John Maru, it doesn't stretch. I can't bring it to you. I apologize for that. You have to come up.
You know how old I am.
You are one of the youngest people at heart, so. Want Miss Wanda, come on up. Ray, come on up. Jen, come up. Come up and just say hello real quick. We'll pass it down and then, John, maybe you can go last and you can just introduce the architect. Does that sound good? Okay, right here.
Hi everybody, my name is Rukia Dillahut. Nice to see everybody out here, happy. Hope you come back to every meeting we have.
I'm Wanda Cox Bailey, and it is pleasing me so much to see all these chairs filled. Thank you so much for coming out. Hope to see you soon, especially in the early spring.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Truman, early member of Fertile Ground, except have been on the board these past 2 years, and to be getting into meetings about the buildings for itself.
Hi everyone, my name is Gabriella Lott. I've been the board secretary for going on a year now. I'm super excited about all the work that's been done and also all the things that are coming up. So like everyone said, excited to see each of y'all at our upcoming meetings, especially the announcement coming winter of next year.
All right, I am really new on the board, so I'm really just learning all the roles and getting talk on the greatest board around. And I'm looking forward to working with everybody. Such a beautiful rainbow I'm seeing out here. So I'm looking forward to working with you, making things happen, getting your ideas, your input into the store. We need that really much, a great deal. So just looking forward to that. Just thanks. I'm a new guy. I'm part of the finance team. Again, Ray Eyes. I thought that earlier. Ray Eyes. Did I not say that before? Okay.
You know who you are. Quasi Brookins, I've been on the board about 3 years or so, and know many of you all in here from a lot of the engagement we've done in Southeast Raleigh. So I'm over at NC State University, at least for now, and good to see everybody.
Okay, we have one board member that's not here. His name is Jim Center. He's actually at a cooperative conference somewhere else in the country. So we want to thank. Say again? We want to thank him, and we also want to thank another member, Janet Howard. She's one of our core leaders that holds us together, and she currently is in Maryland right now with her grandchildren. So those are two board members that are not here right now, and I'm going to pass it over to John.
Hi, I'm John Dillahut. I'm board vice president and one of the founding members. Been on this ride since 2013. I'm glad you're here. So I've been to a number of meetings in my short life, and I got to say this meeting right here is something else. So I just want to. So about the architect and the building and the design and all that.
Yes.
Yeah. Back in the spring, we put out a request for proposals to North Carolina firms. And let me share with you what we said to them. Our objective was for Fertile Ground We're seeking to engage an innovative design team of architects, landscape architects, and/or engineers that share our values and vision and can make our grocery store and community gathering space a reality. And then we also said, in terms of the process, our goals were this: to hire a local Black-led design team, include our cooperative membership in the design process, provide a model for what community-led development looks like in Raleigh, engage the surrounding Southeast Raleigh community in our design and development process, produce a beautiful community gathering space, and build an economically and environmentally sustainable anchor building. So our inquiries led us to 3 firms that we wanted to interview. And for us, Andre Johnson Architects, AJA from here on, offered what we were looking for in many ways. Their approach to design, including client and community engagement, their previous work that you'll learn about, and their understanding of our community's need for sustainable economic development made them the top candidate. And then there's this other fact, and that is that Andre has a historical or past and contemporary relationship to Southeast Raleigh, which I'm sure he's going to share with you in a few minutes. We could not be happier as we introduce Andre Johnson to our membership. Andre.
Thank you to everyone for being here, and thank you, of course, to Fertile Ground for giving our firm the opportunity to share in this vision with you. Just very excited to be a part of it, humbled to be able to work with you to create something in a place where I grew up. So I have just a very, very brief kind of snapshot of who our firm, who we are, and some work that we've done. I'll back up a little bit and tell you a little bit about myself. So I was born in Durham, but raised in Raleigh. Spent all of my formative years in Southeast Raleigh, growing up in Kingwood Forest. See a familiar face in here. Definitely know this area. I still live in Southeast Raleigh. And so, when my wife and I were looking for a place, Southeast Raleigh was familiar and very comfortable, and what we knew and we saw how things were going to grow, and so we decided to stay in Southeast Raleigh. So I recently retired as a pastor, so I was bivocational for a while, wife and 4 kids, which is why I'm going to be brief today. My second oldest son's birthday was the first, and we're celebrating today. So apologize for me coming and speaking very quickly and then having to leave. So AJA is what we call our city, is Raleigh. Our current office is actually in North Raleigh, but we do a lot of work in North Carolina. We've actually done work in Virginia and Maryland as well. So our studio is really we're about 12 right now. We have a couple of new hires that are coming in. So we're very diverse. We have a diverse staff, and that's something that I'm very proud of, both gender and ethnic diversity. And so we bring that variety and diversity to every project, and we think that's very valuable with the projects that we serve. In addition to that, our team is very diverse, meaning our consultants. But one thing that John, I always say Mr. Dillon, I grew up in the neighborhood, and so he's asked me to not say Mr. Dillon, so one thing that he mentioned is our process, and our process does involve the client. We do like to create together. It could be easy for us to just create something and come back and say this is what it is, but we like to create that with our clients, and with this particular project, with the community, and we know how important it is because it is a community-based project. And so as the project goes forward, we'll see and interact a lot with the community and be able to shape and share the vision and what we create with the conversations that we have. And we like to say that we take what's intangible and make it tangible through architecture. So this is just really kind of some pictures of our studio. and some of the work process that we go through. So if you pause right there just real quickly. So what you see is our studio making models, sketches, tools that we use to communicate with you about the vision. And so when you speak about things that you want to see with the community grocery store, we'll be able to create that with models and things that help you visualize what it may look like. And the image on the far left, we do a lot of K-12 work that does involve a lot of interaction with the principal, teachers, and sometimes students in the community, depending on the type of school. And what you see there is an image of what we call our vision process strategy. So that is a room like this where we are communicating, and quite honestly, we ask that you tell us any and everything that you want to see. And we filter that down. And from that, we create what the building could look like, what the land could look like. And it's really important that we understand it's a big table approach where it's not just us bringing expertise, it's you providing what you want it to be. Go to the next one. So I'll get into a little bit about our projects, just to kind of show you what we've done. One of the things that was a requirement was innovative design. Our firm has been very blessed and fortunate. We've been recognized internationally. In 2021, we were recognized as one of the top 10 design firms in the world by our profession. And so that is we're actually the first architecture practice from North Carolina to receive that honor. Yeah, so some of our projects, I'll go very briefly. This is actually one of my personal favorites in Kernersville. It didn't get built. It was actually a design competition. It came in second, but I'm still pretty excited about it. So it was an entrepreneurs museum for African Americans. So focusing on the African American experience and the entrepreneurs. And so, we worked, even though it was a design competition, we worked with that particular client to get to this point because it was a two-stage competition. And part of what we were creating, this building being innovative, is trying to, they're beautiful museums that are stacked, that 4 or 5 floors. You kind of come in one door and you move through the building. For this one, we decided to take advantage of the land and spread the museum out. And so the museum is actually a series of pavilions and outdoor exhibits where people can move in and out. And the other part of it is we wanted it to be a community-based museum, so the outdoor exhibits are permanent and folks can actually see it even when the museum's closed. And so this is actually one of my favorite projects. And it started from an idea. And that's one thing that we talked about early on with the board is what we create is based on a concept and an idea that is based, really focused on what the project is. And so this one being an entrepreneurs museum for African Americans throughout history, where some of the achievements may not be as widely known. The building transparency speaks to that. And I'm talking architect speak, but for us it was really important because this is one of our key projects that has very strong cultural connections to the client. You can go to the next slide. And we'll just kind of go through this very quickly. You can keep going. Just images and how we communicate through 3D imagery, graphics, showing you what the space will feel like. And really just trying to show how the space and the building can feel before it's actually built. And you can pause right there. So with this, one thing that we wanted to showcase was how transparent the building is, really pulling back the veil of the achievements. Sometimes in history, things aren't recorded that occurred. And so that transparency is really pulling back that veil to show the history of accomplishments and achievements of African American entrepreneurs. So this next project is for the North Carolina DOT. And the reason I wanted to highlight this is because we were given a very restrictive budget. Most projects don't have endless budgets. And we actually had a vision session, and the client communicated that they wanted it to look like an old house. So obviously that doesn't look like an old house. And so what we did is instead of saying, okay, we'll make it look like an old house, we listened to what things made an old house attractive to them. So they talked about brick, they talked about having nice windows, landscape, so and having a kind of a porch. So we took that and created this building with the same cost that they've done other buildings. So you can scroll through. So that's typically kind of what is created. Again, I'm not picking on that, but that's typically what's created and kind of what we develop with the same budget, the same program, and the same client. And you can see some of the diagrams. So we try to make things very clear as we communicate the design. Yeah, sorry, I put a lot of slides in there. Okay, so this is another project that we're currently completing at North Carolina A&T. It is a community and urban food processing facility. And so what the facility is it's a lab building and a community outreach building at the same time. So they have research components for professors, but they also have an outreach component with a commercial kitchen, a creamery, and other programs that they'll host from the building. So one thing that really this project was looking to do is to actually help and enhance Black farmers, but also help entrepreneurs in food sell their products. So if you have a young farmer that does pickles, they can come and learn how to naturally keep their product healthy and safe for extended periods of time without pesticides, and really help push towards resolving food insecurity. So this building, again, I won't say it was a restricted budget, but it was challenging, to say the least, because of the market. We started before inflation, and obviously you know what that means now. But we were able to keep the basic design that we had from 2 years ago. And the reason I bring that up is because we developed the design together with the end users, the university, and they were invested in what we created together. So it wasn't like we created something and then showed it to them. We worked with them through the process. And so because we worked with them hand in hand, this is their baby as much as it is ours. And so again, something based on, agrarian structures and really reinterpreted in a new way. And so all of these designs that we're kind of showcasing today are designs that we've been recognized for innovative design, and they've all won our awards in our profession. But the awards aren't as important as the process, because the process leads to excellent spaces and buildings if we work together. So one thing I'll say is all of our buildings are sustainable, regardless of the owners or our clients' target goals. We firmly believe that it's our responsibility as architects to make sure that we reduce the building's carbon footprint, how much energy it takes. And so you'll see in a lot of these designs, natural light. We use materials that are local, or as close as local as possible, to cut down on fuel and so every project that we're showing is at least, well, we don't really push one or the other, but all of these are at least the minimum. But the museum was actually going to be a net zero building. What I didn't show was we had solar panels on the roof. And we believe what we say. We're actually doing our own office building now that is the same. It's going to be a net zero office building, and we're actually going to design it so where we don't have an impact on the stormwater. So we have balancing out what we're building with absorptive concrete and all that other good stuff. So yeah, so we put our money where our So the last project I'll touch on was This was also an invited competition. And I don't know what it is, we keep coming in second, but, you know. So this was down in Charlotte, Excelsior Club, historic club in Charlotte. We were invited to participate. I think they had 14 submissions and got down to 3 of us. And the second stage was, again, creating a vision for what, you know, we could transform the club to. So in all of our projects, this slide is really talking about our process. So when we create something with you, it is not us creating something, showing you. It is looking at the history, not only of the place, but also the people that we want to serve with the building. And so this, we actually went back and looked at the development of the neighborhood and what that building meant to the community and how they use that building. That then led us to how we can create the design. So you can kind of scroll through. So it was about political activism, it was about community, it was about music. You pause right here. So the Excelsior Club was a jazz club, or they're revitalizing it, but it was a jazz club, but a community-based center, but also one where you had political activism that was strengthened through the Excelsior Club. And so what we wanted to do was to really take all of those things and create a building that worked with that history. Part of the only program that was required was it was a boutique hotel, but we actually included a museum. We actually refurbished the Excelsior Club to be a music venue, so you can kind of scroll through. And so you can see some of the design approach. We intentionally contrasted the existing white building with the black building, which is new. And this is kind of a view of the refurbished inside of the Excelsior Club as a music venue. And you can see, pause here, so the existing building mainly remained intact to respect the history, but the new building was a surrounding arm, basically enveloping, or hinting to enveloping the Excelsior Club to basically say it's a jewel, it's protected, but we're here with the building to enhance the experience. So you can scroll to the next one. All right, so this is the last one, and I know I'm talking fast. So this one we're pretty proud of. It's actually complete now, but I don't have great pictures of it yet. So we were hired by the YMCA of the Triangle to do a dining hall facility in Wake Forest. So this is Camp Kanata. And it's an interesting story, but I'll tell it really quickly. At the time that we got the project, we were about seven staff members, and I knew a few folks at the Y, and they were a little concerned that it was too big of a project for us, but it's only like 14,000 square feet. So long story being really short, by the time we got done with the building, they actually hosted the retirement of their past CEO at this facility, out of all of their facilities, because this is one of their favorite venues now. So I say that to say, you know, when we work together and we kind of remove baggage and doubts from each other, we can actually achieve a lot of good things. So this project is complete, but these are some of the visualizations that we created. So it's a dining hall and a kitchen, community-based. This involved a lot of interaction with the staff from the Y. But again, they wanted us to match, right here, they wanted us to match some of the buildings that are on the campground. And so we took what they told us, but made it something that was forward-thinking. Again, the process, design ideas came from conversations. It overlooks the lake. And so this project is not my favorite, but it's one of my favorites because of the way that it responded to the client's very specific goals. And that's the last image. You can kind of see kind of the presence of the building. It still looks like it fits, and you know it works well for them. So I know that was a boring architect's presentation on a bunch of buildings, but I wanted you guys to see like what our firm can create and what we can create with you. Again, you know, we're not going to get it right without you. We can create something, you may not like it, or you may like it, or may want tweaks. It's really a process where we have to work together to create some of the things that you've seen in the presentation today. So any questions? Yes, sir.
Thank you. That was great.
Don't be shy. If you have any questions, definitely.
Yes, I think it's all hands in the back.
No, just thinking no.
Yes, sir.
My name's Bill Matt. I've lived in Carver for almost 30 years, and Weaver Street Market Cooperative in downtown Carver is the hub of social life there. Obviously, I don't want this to be a carbon copy, but I want to try and aim or glean some of the best features of Weaver Street Market Co-op in downtown Carver. One of the things that really distinguishes it from other grocery stores is that when you walk out of the building after getting your groceries, you don't walk into a parking lot. And so subconsciously, it's a more relaxed, peaceful place to be because you walk out not into a parking lot where you got to worry about your kids getting hit by somebody who's not paying attention driving, but instead you walk out onto a lawn that has tables and chairs and people are socializing. And you see a friend you hadn't seen in a while. How you doing? You want to sit down and you interact. It's sometimes it takes another half hour to make it to the parking lot. I just wanted to impress upon you that, sir.
Yeah, no, absolutely, that's good. Yeah, thank you. Any others?
I have one.
Yes, ma'am.
When are you going to start designing?
So, in full transparency, we're so excited about the project. The designer that's working with me, Rosario, she's not here just because logistics. We actually have started, brainstorming concepts, not a design of a building, but concepts, because again, we can't generate that without interaction with you guys. But we're ready. It's kind of like, as soon as you put our feet to the ground, we're ready to go. So it's going to be very, very soon that we'll start to generate some ideas, but we do have to have the vision session. We do have to have that conversation. So I would say, maybe first of the year, we'll start to get really intense with things that we'll create. And once that happens, again, the process is not an overnight process. We tend to take a lot of time up front, so we don't have to change things later. But you'll start to see, the juices flowing, so to speak, kind of beginning of next year. Yes, sir. No, I just want to say thank you. There was
one more over here.
No, I got it.
Oh, all right.
You want to say right? And I'm going to have John Dillon join us back on the stage to share some opportunities that you all will have to potentially be involved a little more in depth with this process.
So yeah, to facilitate the process that Andre has talked about, we've created the design, construction, and advisory team. And at the moment, beside Jen and I, Reverend Portia Rochelle and Reverend Lisa Yabo are part of that group. And so, come the first of the year, we're going to be diving into it big time, and we'll be the kind of liaison between the membership, the board, and AJA. Just want to let you know that. We'll be doing updates on a regular basis.
Well, I want us all to give Andre a round of applause. We are so excited, and we hope you have a great birthday and you enjoy, but thank you for being with us. I think this says a lot that he was willing to join us on a Saturday with all the other things that he has to do. So thank you for coming, and we look forward to working with you. All right. So I hope that generated some excitement for everybody. It's going to be a great next couple of years. So we're really, really excited. So we're going to switch gears just a little bit. I'm going to invite up Gabriella Lott, who's going to walk you through our board elections. And I'll pull up the slide. Yep, okay.
So thank you, Simone, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm just going to share a brief update about the board elections that we have ongoing here in Fertile Ground. So just for a bit of information about our board, so according to the bylaws, our board of directors is the group that's entrusted with the power to govern the cooperative. So what we do is ensuring that the mission of the cooperative that all of you sign on to as member owners is carried out. One of my favorite things about Fertile Grounds Board is that we're a working board. So in addition to our great staff, Aaron and Brendan, we're sort of the ones who are doing everything from working with the architect, scheduling and arranging the community meetings and different chances you all have to weigh in about the process. And so the authority that's invested to member owners to actually decide who sits on the board is really a big responsibility. Unlike some corporations or non-cooperative groups, we are very accountable to member owners. So the board of directors is not this sort of ambiguous group that's decided by who has the most money. It's about who you all will do the best job for our cooperative. And so what we're requesting today is that everyone participate in this year's ongoing election. So you all should have already received email information about this, but just to give a little bit more information. So this year we have 3 open board seats, and we have 4 candidates running. So we have 2 of them here today. Dr. Quasi Brookins, who you've seen taking a lot of our great recordings, and who a lot of you all know from his outreach to the Black Farmers Market, as well as Simone Dillahunt, who is our extraordinaire and does everything from helping to manage our staff to chairing marketing and outreach. And we also have 2 other candidates, Jim Center, who's a long-term board member who has been instrumental in our work and is currently at a cooperative conference. And then Stacy Motley, who's a long-term member owner who's interested in bringing her nonprofit experience to the board. So you don't have to remember everything I just shared about those 4 people. That is in the board packet. So basically what we're asking is for you all to go to the links and sort of look at those profiles of information about each of the candidates and make that informed decision about who you'd like to see represent us. So before I go into how to vote, can we just get a round of applause for the almost 50 member owners who have already voted? Thank you all so much for doing that. And if you're one of those people, you're good to go. There's nothing else to do. We're founded on the principle of 1 member, 1 vote. So if you've already voted, then you've already done your part in this election. But if you haven't yet voted, you can access the board ballot, which includes those profiles and all the information you need to know, by either scanning this QR code or by visiting the link at the bottom, which is bit.ly, and then it's FG elect. You can do that at home, on your computer, or through your phone. We'll be sending out another email just with that link again. But also, if you don't have an internet device or want to get it knocked out today, you can come up to the table where I'm sitting over there, and I'll help you fill out the election process online. So that's another option as well. As we said on the side, our voting process does run until tomorrow, so we'll be sending out just one more reminder about that, but we would love for everyone to make sure to get their vote in, and I want to thank everyone again for their support of Fertile Grounds. So if there are any questions about the process, anyone has? And if not, I will pass things over to Aaron Martin for me to have some questions. Thank y'all.
So we wanted to take time to open up to the audience and see if you all had anything you wanted to share about the community, anything that you discovered in the community. I actually discovered today that there's a community garden on Crosslink Road. So I hope that we can do something there and maybe put some more produce out to the community. Does anybody have anything that they would like to share?
Any events or things coming up that folks want us to know about? Before we leave, we do want to take some time to also allow folks to share how they're feeling with all of this news that we got today. So I'm too young to be old school, but I am, I will call on people if I need to and be a teacher. So does anybody have any feelings they would like to share just about all of the things that we discussed today? Feelings of excitement, curiosity, anybody would like to share with the group?
My name is Natalie Gold-Brown.
Ground, and I'm one of the founding members of Fertile Ground, I'm proud to say, and I can't believe we're here. I mean, I remember the first meeting, which was, I guess, 10 years ago. Yeah. And it has definitely been a long road, and I've been in and out of participation, but I'm just so proud of what this group has persevered to accomplish, and I'm so excited about the future, and I'm really just grateful to be a part of a small part of it.
Thank you so much. Others? Over here, in this area. I know you're like, I should have made eye contact.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brittany Yearwood, and I am a new member. I discovered this Fertile Ground at the farmer's market, I'm going to say maybe a year, maybe 2 years ago, and I've definitely been in and out, but I'm excited to spread the word, so I'm happy that I got some information and some cards, and I know people who've never heard of this, so that's what I'm excited about today, that I can talk about it a little more and get back into it. So thank y'all.
Thank you. We'd love to hear from like 2 more people.
I'm Sharon Harris, and I actually live in Zebulon and found out about Fertile Ground during the pandemic, just scrolling on Instagram. And but I come from a family of farmers and a grandmother who taught me to appreciate where my food came from. And so this just kind of spoke to me. I joined, and I think a couple people I met, we said life happened, so I wasn't as focused as I was when we were shut down. I'm also a parent of alumna of Southeast Raleigh High School. So while I don't live here, I do have a love for this area that nurtured my child for 4 years. So I'm excited for Southeast Raleigh. I'm excited for us, and if life will allow, I want to be more. But I'm just so excited and feeling passionate here. So that's what I say.
Thank you. I share the excitement as well. Is there one more?
My name is Carmen Lewis, and I'm just excited about the co-op. I joined, I think about 2 years ago at the Black Farmers Market, and I'm just so excited about the progress and the process that's going into it. And when the architect talked about the sustainability, that really excited me, because me and my daughter we're very into the economy. And I very seldom have garbage. I always recycle everything. So, and I have friends that do compost and everything. And I'm originally from Chicago, so I was part of a co-op, there. And we, had our own wheat berries, and we made our own, bread and everything. And part of the Black homeschoolers movement, because I homeschooled all my 4 children. So I'm just really excited about being in Raleigh and seeing the community come together as one to start all this.
Well, thank you all so much for being here today. This concludes our formal agenda. I first want to reiterate, and I'm going to ask our lovely board president to come up to close us out officially. But just reiterate how grateful we are that you decided to be here with us today. You could be doing anything in the world, so we appreciate you being here today and joining us as we celebrate this milestone accomplishment. We hope that we fed you all spiritually, and just that you're excited about what's to come. It's going to be such a exciting next 2 years, and we want you to be involved. We are absolutely nothing without our member owners. So thank you for being here, and I'm going to kick it over to Ms. Erin to close us out.
We are the children of the ones who would not die. We are the children of the people who could fly. We are the children of the ones who persevere. We are brilliant, we are strong, and we're ready to carry on. Sing with me. We are the children of the ones who would not die. We are the children of the people who can fly. We are the children of the ones who persevere. We are brilliant, we are strong, and we're ready to carry on. One more time. We are the children of the ones who would not die. We are the children of the people who can fly. We are the children of the ones who persevere. We are brilliant, we are strong, and we're ready to carry on. Comrades, I thank you for allowing me to be your first steering committee chair and then your board chair, your president, excuse me, for all of these years. I am completely committed to a cooperative economy where our community owns its own labor and lives in its purpose. I want to tell you that we started with $800 and 8 people, that we have not had staff really until recently, and that our organizing has done this over its years. And we're now at a place where we're the strongest that we've actually ever been, and we give thanks for that. I want to thank our board. It has been hard work. We have a leader named Ed Whitfield that says cooperative economic development is not rocket science, it is harder. And we are really building a cooperative, and a cooperative means that this is your grocery store. A cooperative means that this is your grocery store. A cooperative means that this is our grocery store. It means we're sharing the risk, we share in the promise. And this cooperative cares about you very much. It cares about our community very much. We've worked intentionally to get to where we are right now. It has been up and down. We've had setbacks, we've had challenges, and we persevered to this point. Our project is going to cost somewhere between $8 and $10 million to open the store, and we're committed to raising that money to be able to do that, and we're going to need your help. We also are blessed to be able to have space for an urban farm alongside the grocery store, which we didn't talk about today. I look forward to talking about that in the future. We ask that you give us some grace. We ask that you become hardcore active members. We're committed to being accessible and more organized so that you can help us. We thank all of our board members, and particularly some of the new ones that have come in and have really helped us clean shop, y'all. I'll tell you stories another time, but they have been working so hard to clear our systems, to fix our website, to make sure our books are right, to make sure our materials are beautiful. Because we used to only have a white paper brochure, and they won't even let us bring it out anymore. That's further, y'all, that have done so much work. And so I want to thank all of them, and I want to thank you all for coming. And I want you to know that we're an elected body, which means we can be unelected if we just point you. I encourage you to get active in building the world and the democracy and the economy that we need, and we hope that we'll make you proud. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys so much. And if you happen to not be a member, we do want to reiterate that we have some stations set up over here. If you would like to do that today, you can speak to one of our board members. Other than that, we hope you have a safe weekend and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye, you guys.